Well, the chat number does say 0. They haven't fixed that yet, I guess. Um, so yeah, I turned my generator off today to save gas. Took a nap with the animals, and woke up around 2 o'clock. Hey, Debbie, Christina, Rob, and Justin. I decided to turn the generator back on, and I went to the gas. I've got a gas tank, and I got 5 gallons of gas out of the gas tank. It was all that was left in there, and my generator was already full of gas, and there was a little spare gas next to it, so I've got plenty for the next 24 hours. I should be able to last, running power. I should be able to run nonstop. But even if I don't, it took me an hour to get my TV set on just now. Every minute, come up for 20 seconds, hit the button. After it goes off for a minute, you gotta wait. It stays on for a minute, then 20 seconds, and then you try to turn it on again. And you go through this process for an hour, and when it feels like it finally comes on. I don't know why it does that, but when I get it's 7:10, everybody. When I get my new bulb, I shouldn't have that problem anymore. I'll be live all the time, no problem. I'll be on time, in other words. This kind of set me back an hour, because I was going to be live an hour ago. Anyhow, I'm smoking orange ooze dabs again, guys. And no law regarding cannabis. Cannabisism tis for all. Happy 710. Everybody cheers. Kevin, Enoch, Scotty, Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, Michael, David, Luke. Hey, all right. Cheers, everybody. Kathy, James, Craig, Rebecca, Roger, Darren, Craig Allen. What's up, buddy? So I thought it was the smoke that was fucking me up, but I think I actually got a cold. And it's from giving my puppy to all these kids, letting these kids hold my puppy, and then get my puppy. I kiss my puppy, and then I get the fucking germs, man. My puppy is a germ carrier. I realize that. I know that's why I'm sick right now. I have never exposed myself to this many people. I mean, since I've moved out to Northern California, I have not exposed myself to the germs of as many people as I have since I got that puppy. And everybody comes up, everybody wants to hold him, and I don't mind. But now, I'm starting to have second thoughts about it. People have fucking germs, man, I haven't been sick in a year, man. I'm not like this, not a cold, because I'm not around people, man. I fucking hate getting sick. Hog leg. Oh, right on, whoever that is. Daniel Vandeven. Hey, what's up, buddy? Darren, Roger, Kathy, James, Daniel, Ricky. Hey, Craig Allen. Mike. Hey, Mike with the crazy looking name. Craig, just working on the new place. Darren Williams, smoking along in Liverpool, England. The first person to set Darren Williams straight about flags gets the next dab in their honor. I agree. Less people you're around, less likely to get sick. Yeah. It's just we're a bunch of fucking virus-carrying, unclean bastards. And The thing I hate the worst is when someone is sick and they choose to go out in public and spread it around to other people. Or when your child is sick and you let them go out and spread it around to other people. You're a fucking asshole. You know, stay the fuck home. Stop infecting people. You fucking pig. You know? All of you people that have sick kids that are letting them run around right now, fuck you. Yeah, fuck your flag, Darren. We don't like flags in here, man. I don't fly your fucking flag. See how that doesn't work for your advantage? I don't even know what fucking flag that was. I didn't recognize that fucking flag. You said something about UK. That wasn't the UK flag, was it? Yeah, if you are a parent and you have a child and they are sick, fucking keep them home. All right? Keep your sick, he says fuck me. Keep your fucking sick little piglets home. Derek sucks cock, says Mike. No, he doesn't, man. He just doesn't know the rules around here. He's going to learn. Yvette, I ate a bunch of garlic. Kill that cold. Garlic? I've got some garlic. I am living top of the mountain away from people and disease. Hash, what's up, son? Man, Hash, it's good to see you again, man. Where you been? I'm so glad you're coming back to my show. Holy shit. It's been a long time, man. I think about you all the time. Yeah, every time I look at that thing you gave me. That evil eye. As you call it evil eye, what are you supposed to call it? Hey, what's up, son? Ricky. He's going to learn today. Oh, he's going to learn today. I hope he learns. He seems like he wants to learn, and I'm glad. And I'll explain to him flags, religions, fucking sports teams, school rivalries. Dude, it's all the same bullshit. We're all pitted against each other. We don't realize it. We don't realize that that's who we are. It's a competitive world. We're all taught to compete against each other instead of work with each other. Hey, man, in sports, why are there two teams that fight each other? Why aren't there two teams that, like, work together to build something in sports? Wouldn't that be great? Whatever it is, whether it's ideas or a fucking, or a structure or something, or playground, wouldn't that be great? Who can finish fucking building the playground faster or whatever the fuck, But instead, we'd rather take a stupid fucking ball and run it across stupid painted lines on the ground, and you're fucking satisfied. That satisfies you. Gary Godfrey, 710 degrees, Gary. Really, Gary? 710. Now, that's you, Gary Godfrey, right? That was you. That was the 710 degrees, Gary, right, Gary Godfrey? Correct me if I'm wrong. Dude, Gary, we've taken that whole Gary thing so far, man. I don't know if you realize it. Anytime somebody comes in here with the name Gary, they have to be very careful what they say, because I will jump their shit so quick just for having that name. And it is so fantastic. And most of the guys named Gary, they don't fucking get it. They get all offended. Everybody else is laughing their asses off. And it's like, dude, am I being too, am I being too, that's not what I'm looking for. You wanna come in? Am I doing the joke for too long? Because as far as I'm concerned, when I'm doing a Gary joke, they just can't last long enough, man. A good Gary riding, man, 5 minutes, maybe 10. I'm still laughing my ass off. After fucking 10 minutes of Garyin, I'm fucking laughing that was you, Gary, I thought so. I confused you with somebody else the other day. I thought they were you. I was like, aren't you, you're Gary, you're 710 Gary, you're fucking 710 Gary. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, okay. And then the next show, I think I remembered your last name was Gary Godfrey. It popped in my mind. I said something about it. It's like, it's Gary Godfrey. He's a 710. And so if there's anyone else named Gary in here right now, come on out. Come on out and say hello. We could get it over with quick. But, when I'm doing that whole Gary thing, man, I'm at my finest. Kepper, yeah, I'm going to join you in a bong rip, my friend. I was just thinking the same thing you were. It's like, I think I'm going to do a bong rip and set it up. No, my coughing in my throat, it's really, really bothering me today. So I'm pretty sure I have a cold, but the running nose is basically stopped. It's just moved into a chest cold cough type thing. Oh, thanks, Mike. Oh, this smells so good. Oh my God, I opened this jar and it was down here and it's just like, really, Gary? Really, Gary? What am I puffing? I'm puffing the orange ooze. And my buddy's Wi-Fi sucks dick. Man, that sounds like some sporty fucking Wi-Fi. I gotta get me some Wi-Fi like that. You have to pay extra for that, bro? Alright. Really, Gary? It's so funny. What strain? Smoke some. Maybe it'll help. I know, I'm gonna. Orange juice. Here we go. With my friend Kepper. Kepper. Don't upset Kepper, everybody. Don't upset Kepper. Everybody just fucking calm down. Alright? We're gonna get through this day, but don't fucking upset Kepper. Alright? No law regarding cannabis. I'm smoking along with fucking Kepper. Cannabisism, tisms for all. Rub my chest with my oil? Really? Really, Kathy? Really? Really, Kathy? Really, Kathy? Should I try that? All right. Cheers. Happy 420. Darren, for what? For flying the flag? Yeah, bro, no problem, homie. No problem, Darren. You'll learn. Like I said, no problem, brother. People just don't realize what flags are. Flags are things that separate people. Instead of bringing us together, flags push us apart. You know? And that's with a cold, Hash. That's with a cold, bro. Kyle Kalinski's on Rogan. Oh, dude. Really? I fucking missed it. Oh. Dude, you guys have to see Kyle Kalinski on Rogan. If that just happened, fuck. There it is, 12 hours ago. Let's watch it, man. You guys want to watch it together? We'll watch it together. I think it'll be great.
Boom. Here we go. Hello, Kyle. Hey.
I have to turn on my stereo system, and then I have to turn off the echo. It defaults on echo. Nobody knew that in the world ever. None of you knew that. But now I just finally revealed that one piece of information in my life that none of you ever knew. I have a home stereo system that when the power goes off and you turn it back on, it defaults with the echo on. It sounds fucking obnoxious. You want to hear it? Listen.
Boom. Here we go. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, man. What's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you in your wonderful pink shirt.
Yeah.
It's not the right channel. Hold on. Yeah, I got to turn on the right channel. Okay, now, here, this is with the echo on.
Boom. Here we go. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, man. What's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you in your wonderful pink shirt.
Yeah, it's confident, right?
Pink and...
That's confident, right? I'm a real man. I'm not scared to wear pink. I don't want... Okay, so we'll turn that off. And we'll move these guys over here. And we'll bring you guys up right here. Add source, screen capture, window capture, Joe Rogan. Okay. Very simply, we can just put that right there. We can just kind of extend it like that. And now I can get fancy with it, with the layout, and crop the left. Look at that. Look at that. Crop the left in there a little bit. Just about got that. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, and now we'll do the top. Boom. Dude, how sporty the fuck am I? That's sporty. That's fucking sporty.
Boom. Here we go. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, man, what's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you in your wonderful pink shirt.
Yeah, it's confident, right?
Hey, Andrea Fliger, however you say your name, I'm sorry. Would you please call me Nay instead of Ben? I appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody calls me Nay on the live stream, but it's nice to meet you. I don't go by my real name on here because I'm not really me on here.
Pink and gray. It's like you're confident. You got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, the lowdown on this, though, is I was supposed to get this dry cleaned when I was in Tennessee for Politicon, which was just a few days ago. And then even when I got here, I was like, I got to get this dry cleaned. Going on Rogan's show, of course I didn't, but it doesn't look too wrinkly.
It looks good.
Thanks, man.
It looks very good.
Appreciate it.
So tell me what you were saying right when I walked in. I said, hold this thought. You were saying that Chelsea Manning is locked up and they're charging her $1,000 a day?
Yeah, Chelsea Manning is locked up right now because they wanted her to say more stuff against Julian Assange. She's refusing to do it, and they're fining her, I think it's over $1,000 a day. So that shows you, because before that we were talking about Snowden, and that shows you that they do not mess around when they feel like you're uncovering their BS.
Yeah. Now, what are they trying to get from Julian Assange? Like, what do they have on him?
Well, Julian Assange, there's a couple reasons why they despise him, but he has no political home right now, particularly because it used to be Democrats that defended him, but then he pissed off the Democrats because he leaked on the DNC, and he showed, what was going on with Hillary behind the scenes and how the primary was basically rigged against Bernie Sanders. So Democrats used to like him, now Democrats hate him, and Trump used to like him when he said, when he was getting this information on.
Now listen, guys, this is a 2-hour and 20-minute interview, and I want you to realize something. Kyle Kalinske is my favorite person to listen to when I wake up in the morning. This is my go-to guy. Secular Talk on YouTube. I'm always talking about him. A lot of you have no idea who he is yet. You've heard me talk about him, but you never investigated it. But I'm telling you, this guy has a fantastic perspective on politics and social issues. You should really check him out. He doesn't pull any fucking punches. And I've been watching him for years. He's been on YouTube longer than me. And I'm telling you, this motherfucker knows what the fuck he's talking about. What do you mean bad echo? What's that all about, bad echo? What's all that about, bad echo? You guys have... Karsten said great audio, and then you said bad echo. So what the fuck is that? Which is it? Is it great audio or is it bad echo? I hate not knowing. And now I need to know this. So let me know. What the fuck do you mean bad echo? Do you have two things of me pulled up and one of them's not muted or something? Is that possible? Echo where? You guys are getting echo. Hold on. They don't give you fucking audio. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Because you guys are hearing it through two sources. I want to be able to fucking hear it. I'm just thinking that the source shouldn't have fucking audio on it unless there's a way to turn it the fuck off. don't understand where the echo's coming from. I want to know where the fuck the echo's coming on. Everybody's fucking bitching about it. It's so much that fucking like 20 of you bitched about it. It must be fucking terrible. No, I'm not playing it back. I'm not playing it back. I don't have me up anywhere. This is it. This is it. I don't have me up anywhere. Well, I don't know.
On Hillary, but they hate him as well because Trump has basically been convinced by the people around him in the White House that this guy is dangerous because this guy basically exposed U.S. war crimes. That's why they're coming after him, because he released a video which showed that we were killing civilians, and then we circled back around and did what's called a double tap, where we killed the first responders. And the idea at the time was, oh, it's okay, we're going after Al-Qaeda, but come to find out that wasn't Al-Qaeda, they were innocent civilians, and then they were the medics that came afterwards. And so Julian Assange thought, hey, listen, this is not something we should be doing, and the American people deserve to know about this. This shouldn't be top secret. This is a war crime. And so he released that, and then that's why they were coming after him and throwing the book at him, because, you know, just like with Mike Gravel previously, Daniel Ellsberg actually is who I'm thinking of. Just like with Daniel Ellsberg, when he showed what we were doing in Vietnam and how we were killing civilians, they do not want you to expose their war crimes. They will throw the book at you and act like you're a spy, you're working for a foreign country, you're a traitor, because they want to keep that stuff under wraps because it really embarrasses them and it really shows what U.S. empire is doing around the world.
That was that collateral murder video?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's really bizarre about this is how no one speaks out against it. No one. No one on the right, no one on the left. It's just this thing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't have a home.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, what you see is it becomes very partisan. So when Obama is doing drone strikes and killing 90% innocent people, unfortunately, partisan Democrats don't talk about it. Now that Trump has increased drone strikes by 432% over Obama, with still a tremendously high civilian death rate, now, maybe some Democrats will talk about it, but Republicans certainly don't talk about it. But
432%.
432%. That's right.
And Obama was a radical acceleration of the Bush administration's drone policy.
That's right. And Trump has increased it even more. And see, that's the problem is people get mad now that, Trump is at the helm of this stuff, but all of these things now, it's precedent. He's not doing anything that wasn't established beforehand.
Can I ask you this, though? When you say Trump is doing it, who is exactly making the call? Do they bring this call to Trump and they say, hey, we're going to bomb Yemen, we're going to do this with drones, and does he have to sign off on each individual attack?
That's a great question, and the short answer is I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was directly involved in some of these instances. I know that his first military raid as president that he approved ended up killing a 9-year-old American girl. It was Anwar al-Awlaki's daughter, I believe. But I also do think that there is this, what you can call the deep state. I know people think that's like a conspiratorial term, but it's really not. All that's saying is that the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, these are people who are in these positions of power, and they're there throughout all these different administrations.
Yeah, Snowden talked about that.
Exactly. So that's not conspiratorial. And so when you have a kill list, and when you have people at the CIA and the Pentagon, by the way, a lot of them are calling the shots, and maybe they just need an okay every now and then from President Trump. But yeah, I think that it's not just one person making all the decisions. I think that the president does play a role, but I also think it's generals, I think it's people at the CIA, and I think it's this complex web of people who are all kind of involved in this thing that ends up being drastically negative.
Yeah, drastically negative, to put it mildly, right? When you're talking about 90% civilian casualties with drone strikes, that's such a disturbing thing that this continues, that no one says, hey, this is grossly ineffective and horrific. And
yes, Leslie, he does have a podcast. It's on YouTube, and it's called Secular Talk, Leslie. And you really should check him out. You really should watch him every day. He puts videos up, Monday through Friday. He's putting up fucking videos, and he's fucking great, man. And he covers shit live, and he does interviews, and he does debates. He just debated Charlie Kirk at Politicon. He just did this interview 12 hours ago with Joe Rogan.
It's consequence.
His name is Kyle Kulinski, Secular Talk on YouTube. Look for Secular Talk on YouTube. Okay, his real name is Kyle Kalinske, but just look for Secular Talk.
Yeah, what they do is, they give everybody a false choice. They make it seem like, hey, listen, man, if we're not doing these all-out ground invasions and we're not doing, like, war with boots on the ground, well, what do you want us to do? Like, there are bad people out there. We got to go after these bad people. So this is, like, the soft
Tell him that I sent you. Tell him Trendy Nate from Trendy As Dabber sent you guys.
Our option, if you will. And my response to that has always been, yeah, but you do have to follow the Constitution. And the way our system is supposed to work is, you can't have the president just declare war and just go and do it. Congress has to approve war. So if you wanted to do a drone war, okay, but you got to get a declaration of war, tell me exactly which countries you're going to be doing the bombing in, why you're doing the bombing in those countries, and get an approval through Congress. So if you were to come to me and say, hey, man, there's an al-Qaeda cell that's very active in Pakistan or whatever, so we want to approve a drone war, have Congress vote on it, see what happens, and then move from there. But what we're doing now is, it's just baked into the cake that we violate U.S. law, we violate the Constitution, and we violate international law with all these bombings, because as of right now, we're bombing at least 8 different countries, and we also have a shadow war going on in Africa. So we do, absolutely.
What's the shadow war in Africa?
So the Intercept reported on this. I don't know as much on this off the top of my head, but Jamie, if you wouldn't mind, please pulling up an article from the Intercept. There's a shadow war going on in Africa where we're building military bases all over Africa, and the idea is, I think that we have these bases where the drones fly out of, and they could go to the Middle East and they can bomb there.
Is this also in response to the fact that China is essentially moving into large parts of Africa to extract minerals and natural resources?
Yes, and this is actually super interesting because the China thing, they're doing this Belt and Road Initiative. And basically, this is like their version of empire through debt. Okay, so what they do is they'll go into, like they just made a deal with Iraq. We spent trillions of dollars in Iraq, did an illegal and offensive war. China swoops in and they go, hey, listen, what we want to do is help you guys. We want to build your infrastructure up. We want to make your country beautiful. So if you do a deal with us, we're going to like build all the infrastructure with you.
Give you credit.
Exactly, and then what happens? They turn around and they say, okay, well then you can get a certain percentage of our oil sales or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. So this is, and it's funny because there's been this like evolution when it comes to empires. So it used to be back in the day, you just kind of go up on somebody's shores and say, mine, I'm taking it, and you do it by force. Then the U.S. evolved from that, and what the U.S. does is it's this cute little trick where we say, no, we're not going to control you directly. What we will do is take somebody from your native land, prop them up as a dictator, and then they will allow U.S. corporate interests to go in there and kind of exploit the natural resources. But it's intelligent because you're saying, no, we're not in there ourselves, like the British did in India, for example, where they just showed up and they're like, it's ours. You know, there was a British presence there very clearly. We have people from their native lands take control, but we exploit stuff from them and extract stuff from them. So China took that one step further, where it's like, okay, no, we're actually going to provide you with material well-being, we're going to give you a solid infrastructure, and then it's like, you look at it more like a business deal than an expansion of empire. And honestly, this is one of the weird benefits of having an authoritarian-like system like China does, is they can make a decision on a dime.
Yeah.
You could just have the Communist Party just goes, yeah, we'll do this because this is the best way to do it, and there can be nobody can fire back and say, I don't agree with that, let's stop it. Here, the way Western democracies work, it's almost like you have this certain slowness that's built into the process because there's so many checks and balances. And in many ways, that's a good thing. You want a system like that. But in many ways, it provides a strategic disadvantage, at least when you're talking about imperialism.
So here's the article from The Intercept. U.S. Special Operations numbers surge in Africa's shadow wars. The most dramatic growth in deployment of American elite troops of any region of the globe over the past decade, according to newly released numbers in Africa. It says in 2006, just 1% of commandos sent overseas were deployed in the U.S. Africa Command Area of Operations. In 2016, 17.26% of all Special Operations Forces, Navy SEALs, and Green Berets, among them, deployed abroad were sent to Africa. So this is something that like you never hear about.
Never hear about it, never been a vote on it, they just do it.
Wow.
It's scary. It's scary the way that it works. How you really do have a deep state, if you will, kind of making decisions, and the president just kind of goes along with it. And we're all sitting around here acting like, hey, man, maybe instead of doing that, we could actually, I don't know, use some of our tax dollars to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, which gets a grade of D+. I mean,
but are they doing it because they see a threat? Like exclusive, U.S. has more military operations in Africa than the Middle East. Whoa. Now, is it possible because they see a threat?
I think that's the rationalization that they use, but I think it has more to do with power and control. And when you're the world's sole superpower, you don't want to cede that ground to anybody else.
Right.
And so the benefits that come along with that in their mind is they can rationalize jacking natural resources from all over the world by saying, no, listen, you'd rather have us in this position than you would Russia, than you would China. So it's really like this. The idea is in their own minds, it's like we're a benevolent superpower that's only doing this to keep the world order.
Well, Mike Baker tried to explain Huawei to me. And one of the things that Mike Baker from the CIA, one of the things that he was explaining, he said, you have to realize that there is no such thing as industry independent of government in China. If you have something like Huawei, if you have a giant corporation, they are inexorably connected to the Chinese government. And the moves they make are not necessarily designed for, the infinite growth paradigm, this idea that we have in the United States with corporations are beholden to stockholders who are just trying to make money. That's not what they're doing over there. They have a long game, and the long game involves information, involves espionage, involves stealing trade secrets and patents from other companies. And so when they're selling them these modems, they've got built-in third-party options. So the third party, meaning China, can extract information. So if someone has this modem and they're using this modem to send information to someone in Beirut, China can also get that information.
Yeah, they do a lot of cyber. I mean, that's been a thing that's been known for a long time, that they'll jack patents and intellectual property, and they have this whole economy that's kind of thriving off technology that's made elsewhere. That's certainly an issue. But also, I would argue that it's probably the case with the U.S. too, that this kind of distinction between corporations and the state is largely a veneer, because you have such control of our political process because of big money from corporations flowing into the system. So I think that a lot of these decisions that are made, even when it comes to foreign policy, are directly in relation to how it will impact those corporations. Like the thing that I remember was a light bulb moment for me back in the day when I first learned about it was the banana wars. Have you ever heard about this?
No.
That back in the day, I think it was in the late 1800s, but don't quote me on that. We just went into South America and started toppling governments because we wanted to jack their bananas. And it was literally for the Chiquita Banana Company that we did that.
Really?
Yeah, so when you look at that, you go, okay, well, that kind of distinction between corporation and government is not even really a thing here. It's like this veneer that's in between the two, but really it's the powerful moneyed interests and the elites that kind of run everything, and they're married at the hip, whether they're in the government or whether they're in corporations.
What year was this?
I think this was the late 1890s. Again, I'm more than happy to be fact-checked on this, but I remember the first time I read about this, it had to be in college, the banana wars. I was like, that's insane.
For bananas.
It's crazy.
Well, how about when you go throughout history and you find out that a lot of the wars were over salt?
I didn't even know that.
Oh
I didn't
my
know.
God, they killed people for salt. It was very important back in the day because they didn't have refrigerators. So in order to preserve things and keep them from being infected by bacteria, they would pour salt all over their meat and salt all over their fish, and that's how they preserve things.
Right.
You could apparently preserve things for long periods of time when you completely cover them with salt.
Yeah, so it's I guess it's just always been a thing that it's like wars over resources.
Yes.
Now there's a lot about oil, but
we're accustomed to the oil stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. We have been used to that for
Yeah.
quite a while, and it's interesting because what just happened with Syria and Trump, that was fascinating. Is at first he said, "Oh, we're getting out of Syria, we're getting out of northern Syria." Everybody went crazy and said, "Oh my God, what about the Kurds?" And then we come to find out like 3 or 4 days later that he's like, "Well, no, we're actually taking these troops from northern Syria, moving them over into western Iraq, and they're going to be doing the same thing that they've been doing from western Iraq." And then Trump had the nerve to go out there and say, "And we've secured the oil. It's so tremendous. We've secured the oil. We're not going to make the same mistake like we made in Iraq again." And this is something that he had been saying at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, going back for years. Every year he'd give a speech. And he actually said, like, we should have taken the oil. We should have taken the oil in Iraq because we didn't want ISIS to have it, and we should have it instead of ISIS. And it's like he actually rips the mask off of everything we're doing because he has no filter. And it's like, yeah, that was a big part of it. But what he's just admitting in front of the world is international law means nothing. We don't care about, the proper process. We don't care about, like, imagine for a second China did that to us. And they're like, no big deal or anything, but we're just going to go into Texas and we're just going to jack all your oil. But don't worry, because it's okay. We're allowed to do that because we say we're allowed to do that. We'd be like, what are you talking about? But we're going to do that to a sovereign country, Syria, as we pretend like we care so deeply about Syrian civilians, and that's why we're there to protect them. Like, no, we're there to check their oil. That's what we're trying to do and control the region.
It's so disturbing when it's that transparent.
Exactly, but it's interesting.
But is it better?
Well, that's what I was just about to say next, is that some people make the argument that, well, at least there's no tap dancing bullshit. Whereas with all the other presidents, they have this like fake holier than thou attitude where they really can like put a happy face on a disgusting thing like empire, where Trump is, and I think it's fair to say, he's like too stupid to really go through the tap dance. And so people are like, hey, there it is. It's like, it's right in front of our face. But what's interesting about him is he says both things at the same time. Like, he has the political instincts enough to know that people think war is generally bad. So he always goes out there and he talks about how he thinks war is generally bad and we got to get our troops out of the Middle East. I don't know why we're there. It's so stupid to do in the first place. But when you look at what he's actually doing, it doesn't match his rhetoric. So I don't know if you remember this, but like a year or so ago, he tweeted, we're getting out of Afghanistan finally after all these years. We've been there for 18 years. It was terrible. We should have never been there in the first place. And then we just didn't get out. He said that, acted like we were going to do it. And then the generals behind the scenes were like, ha, ha, that's a good one. And we never got out. And then he just stopped talking about it. We're still there. But he just says it. He's like, oh, we're going to get out of Iraq. Then he doesn't do it. So what happens is it's actually, politically, it comes across sometimes as a positive because nobody follows up with it, and the media doesn't do their job and say, wait, we didn't actually get out of there. But so it comes across as a positive politically because he's still doing the head fakes towards non-intervention, which people agree with, but it's business as usual behind the scenes.
How much time do you think he actually spends on any of these things? And if he does spend time, how does he have the time to do these interviews? How does he have the time to tweet? How does he have the time to watch Fox News? I mean, I really want to know, like, how much interaction he actually has with his cabinet. Like, how much interaction does he actually have with the generals? How much interaction?
That's the dirty little secret, Joe, is that
it can't be much.
It's not, because what he really does is he watches Fox News all day and tweets out their videos, and he tweets all day.
Well, how can you be doing that and then also doing what we think you should do? Look, I don't have any time, and all I do is do podcasts.
That's right.
So I watch him, and I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
No. So here's the thing, and there was a story that was reported before he became president. I think it was after he got the Republican nomination. There was this interesting story that it wasn't discussed too much, but I thought it was fascinating because the Trump team apparently approached John Kasich, who's just like kind of a standard establishment Republican. He was the governor of, maybe in Ohio. But I'm not sure. So it was one of those states over there. But anyway,
it was Ohio.
So he approached John Kasich and basically said to him behind the scenes, hey, listen, man, if I end up winning this election, I want you to kind of like be my vice president, run the day-to-day at the White House, take care, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, do all the work like that. And I want to go around the country and keep doing rallies and rile up everybody and get everybody to our side. So basically, and this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. What's that?
Why? Well, even if you win, why do you have to rile everybody up?
Well, see, he's the first president to never stop campaigning. He's always campaigning. He's always doing rallies. And there's a reason why he's doing that, Joe. It's the only thing he loves on this earth. It's that and watching Fox News that he loves. So that's what he does with all of his time. And everything else, yes, he's just... See, this is the thing, Joe. He took all these deeply establishment figures. Steve Mnuchin of Goldman Sachs, Stephen, I'm forgetting his name, Cohen, another guy from Goldman Sachs. He had all these just career insiders, brought them into his administration, whether it's with the economy or with foreign policy. John Bolton, deep neoconservative. He said he believed in the opposite philosophy, but then he puts John Bolton in power because he wants the system to keep running as it is and run smoothly while he goes around and just, makes the name for himself and talks about how amazing and tremendous this country is and what an amazing job we're doing. So it's funny because he has two different personas. One of them is, I'm going to pretend to be the anti-establishment guy and rally people up nonstop and be a politician and be good at it. And then the other thing is, behind the scenes, he's like, guys, just keep everything running and hold it together with duct tape if you have to before I get out of here. So he's, at the same time, he's acting like the most anti-establishment president of all time when he's on the campaign trail. He's also the most deeply pro-establishment candidate in terms of, or president in terms of what he's actually doing. So it's a fascinating dynamic that's going on right now.
It's a giant hustle.
That's right. It's a giant hustle. And listen, man, and other people on the left might disagree with me on this, but I think he's fucking brilliant at it. I think he's brilliant at this part of it, but where he really does have a way. Like, he broke every single political rule that ever existed when he ran for president, and he won. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the rules are nonsense.
The problem is, who is he running against? I don't think that would have worked if he was running against Obama. I think Hillary is such a deeply flawed candidate, and so many people despised her. And during the Me Too era, like, her creepy fucking husband is just looming in the distance like Nosferatu. I mean, how many women have come out and accused that guy of sexual assault and rape, and he's still hovering. I mean, he's still around, and that's always going to haunt her. She's connected to that guy forever.
On this topic, there's an amazing story. So during the election, remember when the story broke of Trump on video saying, "I grabbed him by the pussy, I don't even wait," and everybody blew up, and all the mainstream media talking heads were like, "Oh my God, it's over. He's going to drop out. It's over. It's done." What did Trump do at that next debate? This was actually low-key political brilliance. Instead of doing what every other politician would have done, which is basically kind of give in a little bit and be like, "All right, you got me." What he did, he released a short apology video real quick, got it out of the way. Then the next night was a debate. At the debate, Joe, he brought like 8 Bill Clinton accusers. Put them in the audience, and then he goes out there on stage, and when he's asked a question, the first thing he says is, "Listen, I'm not proud of what I said. It wasn't a good thing what I said, but what I did was just words. What Bill Clinton did was actions, folks. It was actions." So if you want to see who the real problem is, he's sitting right there in the audience. And the brilliance of that move is, this is politics 101. Never really go on defense. Your best defense is a really good offense. So he made it a wash. All of a sudden, this issue, which was supposed to be, oh my God, it's the end of Donald Trump. Now the whole conversation shifted to, I mean, damn, there are a lot of accusations against Bill, aren't there? So maybe this is a wash, and we can just kind of move on from this topic completely. That's all he had to do. And you see it with every single scandal that Trump's involved in. You see how incredibly pathetic and ineffectual and weak the Democrats are at marketing and strategizing, and you see how good he is, because he is, no matter what it is, he's going to flip it. He's going to flip it back on you. So the new thing is the Ukraine thing. I don't know how closely you've been following this, but the Ukraine thing, he basically got caught on a phone call asking for dirt on his political opponents, Joe Biden. He was talking to the president of Ukraine, and he said it in so many words. I mean, he like said there was no quid pro quo, but there doesn't have to be. It's implied. Everybody knows what you're asking for. You're asking for dirt on your political opponent. So everybody's melting down and going, "Oh my God, man, you can't do that. This is violating every rule. This is violating every norm. This is not something any president should be doing, relying on a foreign power to get dirt on your political opponents." What does Trump do? Again, goes right back on the offense, and he goes out there and says, "I have every right as president to investigate corruption, and Joe Biden is incredibly corrupt, and all I'm doing is I'm, trying to figure out, why was Hunter Biden getting $50,000 from an energy company? He doesn't know anything about energy. Why is he getting this?" And so now, again, the conversation isn't, man, Trump shouldn't have been doing that. The conversation is, okay, sure, maybe Trump shouldn't have been doing that, but goddamn, Joe Biden's son and Joe Biden's family is really corrupt, aren't they?
Well, how about the video where you saw the video where Trump released it, where it was Biden talking about the loan? Like, explain that.
Okay, so this one, I'll give you what the Democrats say and I'll give you what the Republicans say. The Democrats say, hey man, that's a misleading video because yes, it's true, Biden was holding $1 billion subsidy over the head of Ukraine to fire a prosecutor, but Biden wanted to get rid of the corrupt prosecutor and bring in a non-corrupt prosecutor. That's why he was doing what he did and holding that subsidy over their head. And they say the prosecutor that eventually came into place actually investigated the Biden family more. So that's why the Democrats say there's, you're kind of misleading by putting this out there. The argument that Trump is making is, well, no, you're holding $1 billion subsidy over the head of a foreign government and saying you have to listen to us and do X, Y, and Z. That's problematic in and of itself. But furthermore, it's like, it's corruption anyway. We know that the only reason Hunter Biden was getting paid $50,000 a month, and actually now people are saying it's not $50,000, it's $83,000 a month, is because his last name is Biden, and so it's pay-to-play corruption.
$83,000 a month is a lot of fucking money.
And this is where I think, Democrats are silly, because they always find the weakest anti-Trump argument possible, and now they're put in a position where they have to try to say, oh, the Bidens did nothing wrong at all, and Trump is all bad. And bottom line, nobody's going to believe that the Bidens did nothing wrong when you're getting $83,000 a month and you don't know anything about natural gas.
Right. What was the justification for the $83,000?
I don't even know what they give as the justification.
Really? They're giving you guys copyright strikes? Huh. What's it say exactly? It's fucking bullshit. Wow. Thanks, fucking Joe Rogan. Fucking copyright striking me. Unreal. Unreal. I want to keep watching it, man. It's good. I want to keep watching. What's that, man? Fuck YouTube. It's because I'm playing the fucking video, Kepper. What do you mean, audio? Fucker. You don't think I know why I got a copyright hit, bro? Fuck YouTube. Fuck. God damn it. Fuck you. Fuck off. You fucking pieces of fucking shit. What the fuck ever. I got a copyright strike on fucking YouTube. One of my channels. I don't even know which one. What? You guys are like copyright, but you didn't say what happened. Steve Running, what happened? Steve Running, tell me what happened, bro. Are you there? I don't even know what channel they're on. And they probably don't know what channel they're on either. Fucking Restream's not telling me how many people are watching. It's 2 hours, bro. It's 2 more hours of interview. Slow down. I'd rather speed it up. Because it's 2 hours, we could just fucking speed it up and reverse it. Hey, I'm good, Josh. I'll just fucking, I'll just watch it on my own, I guess. Fuck them. Amy, I know how to fucking speed up and slow down a video. Thanks for telling me. Alright, listen, guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to go watch that video on my own. Take care. No law regarding cannabis. Bye-bye.